to be. Billy and I are having fun debating it all, including Medicaid for illegal immigrants. But coming up here in just a minute, he's running for president, and you've heard him before on our program. Ran into him at CPAC. Gary Barve, candidate for president of the United States. That's right, running for president. He's making his way around CPAC, interviewing with people, and he and Billy had quite an engagement to the point where it went quite viral. And now Mr. Barve is back for more. So he'll be joining us here in just a second for what I promised you will be quite a wild experience on this Halloween Friday. We've got a lot to talk about as well. Turning Point USA getting denied their charter at Fort Lewis College here in Colorado. This was wild. The petition that was organized against Turning Point, I can only describe as the height of hypocrisy. People claiming that if we allow Turning Point, we will no longer be an inclusive college campus. Demonstrating their great commitment to inclusivity by excluding people. How is it that they don't see this? Like, it's just crazy to me. They're like, we're fighting fascists by shutting down your free speech. You act like fascists. You're acting more like a fascist than anybody in the room. And then claiming to be fighting fascism. Fort Lewis College denying Turning Point USA the ability to have a chapter on their campus. We'll talk about that and more. Plus, we'll play some of the audio, which is just crazy. Now, though, is time for news and comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good morning, TGIF. And it is 32 and cloudy and spooky on Halloween. Expecting a high of 51 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, Cash Patel says the FBI prevented a potential terror attack today in Michigan, and multiple suspects have been arrested. They were allegedly plotting a violent attack this weekend. The Schumer shutdown continues. The lefties love it. Millions will be upset tomorrow when they don't receive their SNAP benefits. Speaker Mike Johnson.
And they are very upset about that. The tension is rising. You had Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, for example, who just yesterday, I think it was, accused his own party of, quote, playing chicken with the food security of 42 million Americans. He's right. And you've seen now the avalanche of people and organizations and institutions calling on the Democrats to reopen the government and vote for the clean CR. You got labor unions. You got the largest airlines in America. You got independent voters. Working class Americans across the country, they are all pleading with the Democrats to do their job and stop using their hardships, the people's hardships, for the Democrats' political games in Washington.
Amen. Denver's own Mayor Johnston tells Denverites to look at the faces of all the kids who show up at your door tonight for Halloween, because some of them will go hungry tomorrow.
1 out of 7 of those kids that show up with a mask on at your front door will not know whether they're going to get food when they go back home the next day.
Okay, so get on the horn. Call your buddy Chuck and scream at all your Democratic friends. They love you, and they love Denver and all the blue state all over the place, and hold a press conference demanding that they just open up the government so they can allow these children who you just talked about to eat so they don't go hungry tomorrow. I think that's a good idea. Shanae Jazz Crockett, everybody, says Republicans fear her, but then Republicans love her. That's what she says. Yes, because she is free entertainment.
And when you look at the crowds that she garners when she goes
She's talking about AOC right now.
That is a scary thing for him.
Scary. She's talking about AOC right now, and I think DJT, but she continues.
Right? And a lot of the people...
Wrong. I can't stand when people say right, after every 3 words, right? No, wrong.
That I believe that he wants to appeal to. AOC is one of the few people that can actually break through. Well, I would argue that as much as I go against him, I would imagine that I get some of those folk too. I remember when we were doing our art competition in my district. And obviously it's open to all the kids in the district.
Yeah.
And I remember a father coming up to me and telling me, I appreciate you for doing this competition. My daughter loved participating. I am a Republican, but I love you. I have been in all kinds of cities, in airports and otherwise, where people walk up to me and of course they don't have an R on their forehead, but they tell me that they have a difference when it comes to politics, but they love me. And so I think it is that actually concerns him. And it is a reason that he wants to make sure that he is doing everything that he can to stop us. But honestly, he only elevates us.
Yeah, exactly. She is so awesome. She's incredible. I love her. MTG pushing back on criticism she's received over her upcoming interview appearances. Marjorie Taylor Greene took to X touting an A+ rating from the Conservative Review and writing, "There are pathetic Republican men, mostly paid social media influencers, attacking me for going on Bill Maher's show and The View." While her decision to join The View came as a shock to some, it also follows an admission from the host that they'd like to have more Republican guests on, but often have their invitations declined. I'm not sure about that one. Greene remains a staunch supporter of 47, but in recent weeks, the Congresswoman has bucked the party by criticizing its approach to expanding expiring health care tax credits. MTG, everybody need to talk, go on as many shows as possible. Left, right, left, just like Jeff and Billy do it. And by the way,
I
Billy
don't know. No. We have clearly made Denver worse.
Yes.
Yeah, mostly my fault.
This isn't good. Don't replicate what we got going on here.
Good point. You're not good. You do not set a good example.
Look, Blake. I mean,
yes.
The View is like going out to a fine French restaurant. The Jeff and Bill show is like a bunch of raccoons eating out of the trash.
Yeah, and some of us are drunk.
So,
fermented fruit, and we're just like,
don't replicate what we got, especially in comparison to the high esteem thinking that takes place on The View.
Yeah, you have to realize that in some cases, I am the bad example everybody else needs to point to. That's kind of my purpose in life. It's kind of it, man.
That's not a bad title, actually. Republican, it's good for Halloween tonight. Republican candidate for Virginia Governor Winsome Earl Sears says that she's safe after her campaign bus went up in flames today. Thank God she is alive. All right. Hey, I forgot about this one. Here you go. Here's another idea for a Halloween costume tonight. Dress up like a Minnesota politician.
Congresswoman Adashane.
Yeah.
Sida nakasawada baxnay. Haddaba Umar waa ka xumahayo. Virginia qaboobaa lagu dhalay.
There you go, and then just say I love Minnesota on the front of your shirt.
Just circus.
It is
that
out
guy
of control,
running for mayor is just going to give us memes for decades.
Absolutely. Just gonna go on and on. Hey, wait, I need to hear more from Shanae.
Only makes people look at us and say, man, if he's threatened by, AOC, who's still in her 30s, and me, who's still technically in my early 40s, two women that are in the house, they must be doing something right.
Oh, yeah, you are. Wow.
That's it. It's not that you're just providing fantastic content for us to talk about.
Exactly.
It's that we're intimidated. Right.
Nailed it. The Blue Jays can win their third ever World Series title tonight. They play host to the Dodgers. Game 6 of the Fall Classic as the trick-or-treaters come to your door. Toronto leads the series 3-2 after winning games 4 and 5 in L.A. Hey, we have college football tomorrow. Arizona at Colorado, 5 o'clock. Can CU bounce back? That'll be interesting. And Army at Air Force tomorrow morning at 10 with your bacon and eggs. Wyoming at San Diego State, Montana State at UNC. Nuggets, Blazers. Tonight, Avalanche have an early game today at 2 o'clock. I thought it may be Canadian Thanksgiving Day or something. I think that's on October 13th. So it's already the holiday season in Canada. Maybe that's why they're doing it, even though they're in Vegas today. Ravens over the Dolphins last night, 28-6, as they try to come back with Lamar Jackson. And the Broncos on Sunday at the Texans, looking for win number 7. They're rolling 29 in Erie, 30 in Englewood, 32 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. Have a happy Halloween. Blake Olson, boo. News Talk 710 KNUS.
Nice autumn weather as we wrap up October, head towards November. The weather will be very quiet, mostly sunny today, 50s, fair tonight, a low near 30. It'll be a little cooler and a little cloudier on Halloween as we're sideswiped by a cool front, but it'll be a dry front. More clouds, highs upper 40s to near 50 for Halloween, upper 20s Friday night. However, we're going to warm into the 60s Saturday, 60s, flirting with 70 come Sunday and Monday and dry. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. He strongly, passionately believes that J.D. Vance is the wrong guy to be the next president of the United States. I think J.D. Vance is the best vice president I think we've ever had. I'm trying to go back and think of the Republican vice presidents, right? You had George H.W. Bush. Then we had Dick Cheney. And then we had Mike Pence. I think J.D. Vance is the most based vice president out there. But our next guest thinks that we've got it all wrong. He should be the next president of the United States. Gary Barve joins us. Good morning, Gary. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Hey, how are you, Jeff? How are you, Bill? Great to be on the Jeff and Bill Show. And I cannot again see you guys on my screen, but I'm assuming you can see me on your video, right?
We got you. You're looking great, Gary. So, Gary...
Jeff, I was watching you on TV all morning, and I can see that you're not wearing the cowboy hat today. Is that because it's Halloween, or
yes?
Because I think every other day you wear the cowboy hat.
I am dressed as a woke boomer. I'm on my way to Cabo. I have my 401k. I've got my Social Security. I've got my Medicare. Everything's going great for me, and I'm going to show up at a No Kings rally later because I'm a woke boomer.
And I'm basically just a grumpy old man, so I want both of you to get the hell off my lawn.
Which is classic. Now, Gary, you got to tell us why you want to be the president of the United States. I think we've got a great team going on right now. Trump could add another term, maybe. Who knows? And then J.D. Vance, we could have 30 years of MAGA. Why would you want to interrupt that?
Well, let me quickly introduce myself. If you're okay with it, my friend Jeff, let me quickly introduce myself to your great viewers and listeners. Obviously, I have interviewed with you twice, but let me quickly say this. My name is Gary Barve. I am a huge supporter of our President Donald J. Trump, a proud Republican of the Republican Party that belongs to our President Donald J. Trump. And I'm officially running for President of the United States of America in the 2028 election to help President Trump make America great again, keep America great, and to help him save America. And as you know, Jeff and Bill, I'm running because I love President Trump. I love our country, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. I love you, our great American people, and we're going to make America great again, keep America great, and save America. And I will say this, my friends, Jeff and Bill. I respect all religions, but I'm Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. I believe the Bible is the Word of God. And I genuinely believe that Jesus Christ is with President Trump. Jesus Christ is with our country, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. Jesus Christ is with you. Jesus Christ is with me. We're going to save America. And I think you asked me why I'm a great candidate. Look, let me say this. J.D. Vance is obviously the current vice president, but I call J.D. Vance doofus. I call him docile cheeks beta male. Now, let me say this, my friend. I respect and support President Trump's decision to select J.D. Vance as the vice president in the 2024 election cycle. But in my opinion, J.D. Vance will not be president in 2028. He just does not have the personality to be president of the United States of America. Now, let me say this. In my opinion, my friend Jeff, my friend Bill, I am the most courageous person on the planet on the political stage, not comparing my courage with the tremendous police, sheriffs, ICE, military, veterans, firefighters, first responders. I'm a big supporter. But I'm talking on the political stage, and I'll back it up with real content and data right now. And this has been a bit of a soundbite. I've interviewed my friends with probably about 25, 30 media networks across the country. Let me say this. Under the previous dumb as a rock Kamala and the crooked Joe Biden administration, as you know, immigrants that crossed across the southern border into our great United States of America illegally, bringing in tremendous crime and drugs such as fentanyl that killed hundreds of thousands of our great American people. And there are these gangs that came into our country. I'm sure you've heard about these gangs, my friends. Tren de Aragua, they call themselves Tren de Aragua. It's a Venezuelan gang. And the first time I heard about this gang named Tren de Aragua, I said to myself, what a stupid name for a gang, right? Who names their gang Tren de Aragua? It's a stupid gang, and it's a stupid name for a gang, but it's a vicious gang. And as you guys know, you're in Colorado. They literally took over a complete building in Colorado recently. I know you and I discussed this on the previous show as well. And there's this other gang, MS-13.
Okay, hang on, Gary. But Gary, wait, now, before we start going through, the long cavalcade of gangs and things we're dealing with, let's go back, as you're running for president, let's go back to my partner Jeff's core question. The idea, and you did give Donald Trump credit for naming J.D. Vance as his vice president. Trump was looking at his second term, so he understands that in many cases inside the political system, the person that comes as your vice at that point is sort of the torchbearer that is supposed to continue your message, your movement inside the political party. So
why do you say that, Jeff? I'm sorry, is this Bill or Jeff? This is Bill, right?
This is Bill, but Gary, and so that's normally the transition. That's normally what happens when you're picking your second-term VP.
Bill, my friend, that's not true, and I'm saying this respectfully. That's not true. Look, historically, if you look at data, and you want to talk about data, we'll look at data right now. There are, in my opinion, only 6 vice presidents in the history of our country who have gone on to become president of the United States
pause,
of America.
Please. Scott, pause. Where's the pause button?
Pause.
Hang on. Pause. Hold on. You missed what I was saying. I'm not talking about vice presidents who have been elected. I'm talking about the process and procedure. Most of the time, when a second-term president has a vice, the impression is that the vice will carry the mantle forward and continue many of the policies that was existent under the previous 2 terms of the president. We can see that most directly with Reagan. You can also see the attempt with Obama. So that is kind of what happens. Hang on.
Don't talk about...
Wait, Gary, stop. Okay, but that's normally how it works. Normally the person that gets the vice, they're the standard bearer, or at least the odds-on favorite. So what I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to go back to what Jeff was saying, is you said that Donald Trump made a great choice as vice, but then you say that J.D. Vance can't be the next president, or you would be better. That would imply that Donald Trump made a poor choice for
that is not
his successor.
The correct implication.
That
is an incorrect implication, my friend.
Good. Then tell me why. Tell me why.
Okay, great question. Let me respond to what you said. What I said was, J.D. Vance, look, let me say this. For the sake of the country, I hope J.D. Vance becomes a great vice president. What I'm saying is President Trump did President Trump made the right decision to select J.D. Vance as his vice president for the 2024 election cycle. I am saying J.D. Vance does not have the personality to become president in 2028 and will not get elected president. And the reason I was talking about the gangs and cartels, MS-13, Tren de Aragua, Sinaloa cartel, is because, in my opinion, to be a great president of the United States of America, there are at least two attributes that I value tremendously, and I'll talk about it right now, and I will answer your question, Bill, and I will also give you a follow-up if you want to follow up with another response question on this. Look, courage and loyalty are, in my opinion, the two main attributes that a president, especially of the greatest and the most powerful country in the world, the United States of America, should have. And when I was talking about the MS-13 gang members, what I was saying was, I have fought against these MS-13, Tren de Aragua, and also the Sinaloa cartel gang members in a way that is stronger and more courageous than anyone else on the planet on the political stage. And I will prove it right now by making one or two statements, given the fact that I have no personal security protection, I have no Secret Service protection. I'm doing this because I love you, our American people, and I want to keep you safe and secure. So I will say this to prove it to your thousands and thousands of incredible audience members and listeners and viewers. My direct message to MS-13, Tren de Aragua, Sinaloa cartel gang members live right now on the incredible Jeff and Bill show. My direct message to these gang members, MS-13, Tren de Aragua, Sinaloa cartel, is get the hell out of our great United States of America. If you don't, we will incarcerate members of your gangs, or I, Gary Barve, as the 48th President of the United States of America, will kick members of these gangs out of our country. So Bill, Jeff, and everyone listening in that's American, I'm ready to take a bullet for you. I'm ready to take a bullet for our American people because I want to keep you, our great American people, safe and secure. So let me say this, my friend Bill, I am, in my opinion, the most courageous person on the planet. You have so many potential opponents who will run against me. I will name a few. J.D. Vance, you name J.D. Vance. I will say, I'm talking about the Republican primary caucus phase of the election. There's inauthentic rhino, fake plastic political guy, Youngkin, DeSanctimonious, that's Ron DeSantis, very disloyal to President Trump, Nikki Brain Haley, opportunistic rhino, weak little Vivek Ramaswamy. On the Democrat side, Gavin Newsom, dumb as a rock Kamala. There's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, J.B. Pritzker, who is this round-shaped, circular kind of a guy, Illinois governor, and so many, Cory Booker. Why are all these people that I just mentioned not fighting against MS-13, Tren de Aragua, Sinaloa cartel, and risking their lives for our country on the political stage at a fraction of the level of courage that I am showing on the political stage? Jeff, Bill, I could get shot at any time in my life.
Hang on a sec. You're saying that none of them are fighting the gangs, etc. Isn't J.D. Vance and somebody...
That's not what I said. I said at a fraction of the level of courage that I'm doing. That is what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, but hang on. Are you shooting missiles at drug dealers? Because that's what the Trump administration is doing, and that would include J.D. Vance and some of the people on your list. So I'm just questioning...
Hold on. I'm talking, my friend.
That's what they're doing.
My friend. Hold on. I'll say two things to this. Number one, President Trump is the president of the United States of America. J.D. Vance is not.
He's part of the administration,
Donald J. Trump who is leading the country, all right? Let me complete my thought, and I'll give you another response, my friend.
But you're Gary, no, Gary, you're trying to bifurcate the decision, saying all the stuff that I agree with is solely the decision-making of President Trump, and the rest of the administration, be damned unless I agree with it. If I agree with it, then it's all great.
Those are your words, not mine, my friend.
Yes, my interpretation of your words, because you're saying that J.D. Vance doesn't have any possible idea that of contribution to the current attacks on the people bringing...
Those are not my words, my friend.
Yes, you did. You gave it to Donald Trump. Yes, no, I'm trying to interpret it because there's a lot of words here.
My friend Bill, you got to let me complete my line of thought so that the entire equation makes a lot of sense.
Hang on. You have had minutes. No. I need you to find a period every once in a while because you just kind of go on and on and on, just completing the thought. I mean, again, find a period, a paragraph somewhere, and then we can talk about the completion of the thought. Okay, continue.
All right. Well, give me 1 more minute to complete my thought, my friend. All right. Is that okay?
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay, so let me say this. President Trump is leading the country, and the decisions to, you're talking obviously about the gangs, boats, the ships that have been bombarded by President Trump's leadership. That is what you're talking about. I think that's a fantastic thing for our country. I'm saying on the political stage, when all these opponents that I mentioned, for the campaign for 2028 election, presidential election, look, I'm not the president right now. I'm a candidate for president. As a candidate for president, I am saying that I'm fighting against these gang members, risking my life for our country, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, on the president. is Jerry Vance not going on all these big networks that you're talking about and fighting these gangs and cartels when he already has probably hundreds of people protecting him, Secret Service protection? And not just Jerry Vance, my friend. Every opponent that I mentioned, why are they not fighting against these gangs and cartels? I will tell you the answer right now. They don't have the balls or the courage to fight against these gangs and cartels in the strong, courageous, infinitely courageous way that I'm doing on the political stage.
Gary, got a question for you. Got a question for you. Point of clarification, and I'll let you continue.
Okay.
How are you defining fighting in the manner in which you're using it there?
Well, okay, so let me say this. When I go on media shows like yours, how many viewers do you have, Jeff and Bill? You have like hundreds of thousands of viewers listening in live right now, right?
No, I'm asking.
I've gone on RSPN,
yeah, but
RS,
I know on ours, but how are you fighting? You use the word fighting, so what? How are you defining that?
That is exactly what I'm trying to share with you, my friend. I am saying that I've gone in front of millions and millions and millions of people on the media, 25, 30 media shows across the country, and I've made strong enemies with these MS months and years.
Sometimes.
And the rhetoric, I can only do rhetoric, right? I'm not the president right now. I cannot direct the military at this moment to fire missiles at gangs and cartels' boats. I cannot do that. I don't have the power or the authority to do that. I am doing everything that I can as a civilian candidate for president of the United States of America to protect our American people. And I'm doing that at a level that is much more, infinitely more from a courage perspective than any of my political opponents who are not the vice president of the United States of America. That's my point. And even the vice president does not have, I'm talking Jerry Vance or Doofus, he does not have the rhetoric or the words or the ability to interview in the manner in which I'm interviewing and making enemies with these gangs and cartels in the strong way that I'm doing. That's a fact. Have you heard Gary Barve?
I appreciate that. No. Hey, Gary, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So you're fighting them through interviews, and if JD Vance would do more interviews, more fighting. That's good. Okay, Jeff, you've got a question.
So, Gary Barve,
Jeff, my friend, can I just complete the other part of my question?
No, we need to move on, man. We're 27 after the hour, man. No.
I do want to get into some of your strategy. I see that you're spending quite a bit of time in Iowa. We're talking with Gary Barve. He's running for president.
I'm a resident of Iowa.
Yeah, tell us your strategy, what you're doing in Iowa, laying the groundwork to become the next president of the United States.
That is incredible. Now, let me say this, my friend. I'm getting tremendous support from the patriotic American people in Iowa. Let me say this. Obviously, as you know, Jeff, Iowa, a lot of great American farmers in Iowa. I'm getting a lot of massive support from our great American farmers. I have a small team as well. My Iowa campaign manager is a great American farmer. He's a patriotic guy, Jason Ball. He's a tremendous patriot, obviously a President Donald J. Trump supporter. He's managing my Iowa campaign. And I have a lot of support in Iowa. I've talked at so many meetings and events. And my friend, not just in Iowa, I've talked at meetings and events where there's been 100, 200 people. I've talked in Tennessee. I've talked in Arizona, live, like at the venue. I've talked in Nevada, I've talked in Florida, Iowa, so many places across the country. The support is building incredibly well. But, you asked me a question about strategy, right, my friend? The strategy is very simple. Risk my life for our country at every possible way. Keep America first, keep the American people first, and fight for the American people that in a way that no one in the history of our country has done other than President Donald J. Trump. That's the way I win the election at a high level, at a generic level. I'll give you more specifics as well, my friend. In my opinion, if I get in front of 330 million American people, that's, just about the population of the entire United States of America. If I get in front of 330 million people through incredible regional shows like the awesome Jeff and Bill show, through national media networks, which I have been on, I will win this presidential election. In my opinion, like I said, I'm the most courageous person on the planet on the political stage. I'm also the most loyal supporter of the greatest and the 47th president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. I love President Trump. And the reality is that I have risked my life for President Trump. I went against the tide, as President Trump says, tremendously, in a way that, no one did for President Trump, in my opinion. And depending upon how much time we have, I can talk about a speech that I gave on July 13, 2024.
Well, let's get specific on experience, Gary. I think people, when they look at President of the United States, they look at the most powerful person in the world. They want to see great experience. Obviously, Donald Trump didn't come from the political side, but he came from the business side and had built fabulous, beautiful hotels and golf courses and was
incredible success.
Incredible success in real estate. So what becomes your background? What becomes your experience that you tell the American people, look at what I've done, look at what I've built, now hand me the keys to the most powerful office in the world?
Well, the most powerful office in the world is the office of Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. Again, I respect all religions, but I know what you mean. You mean on the earthly basis. So let me say this, my friend. A lot of people have had experience, okay? And I have a lot of experience, and I'll talk about it in this answer as well. Just let me complete what I have to say, my friend. A lot of people have had experience. Hillary Clinton, as President Trump said, crooked Hillary, as President Trump said during, I'm talking about the 2016 election, had experience. President Trump said what? President Trump said during the debate, if there's one thing that Hillary has on me, it's experience, but it's bad experience. And a lot of these people, I'm talking about Jeb Bush, I'm talking about all these people, Ted Cruz, a lot of people who ran, I'm talking about on the Democrat side as well. Now, Kamala Harris has more experience than I have on the political stage. She's awful. She's dumb as a rock. The country will be destroyed if people like Kamala Harris get into office. So what I'm trying to do is, and what I'm doing very effectively, because it's the truth, is that I'm nullifying the fact that experience is the most important thing, or even a top thing for a candidate for president to succeed. That is the first thing that I'm saying, because I gave you some examples. I can give you many more examples. Crooked Joe Biden, Gavin Newsom. It's the worst. California is the worst run state in the United States of America. It's the awful governor of California, Gavin Newsom. He has experience. So many people have experience, but it's bad experience. You need people to run for office who love the country and who are ready to fight for our country and risk their life for our country, that like I am, in a demonstrable way. This is not just rhetoric. I've actually done it, and I've talked about it right now, and I've made myself a target for these gangs and cartels, against these gangs and cartels such as MS-13, Tren de Aragua, and Sinaloa cartels. And so experience is sometimes an asset, but bad experience takes the country in a negative direction.
Yeah, I get that, and I understand bad experience. Help our audience understand your experience, your good experience. What have you built?
Right,
what have
fantastic.
you led? That type of thing.
And then I'm going to go back in time a little bit to give you a little bit more perspective, all right, my friend? So I have recently, you and I met Jeff and had really an incredible interview, obviously, with Bill as well, at CPAC 2025, right? I think that was in February of this year, right? February 2025. And since then, I'm a published author. My book, One Nation Under God, which I feel is a really, really nice book, is on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple iBooks in digital and paperback format on the digital platforms. But you're going to love this, Jeff. I think you love country music. So let me say this. Music has been a big passion of mine. And I said, I'm going to follow President Trump's success trajectory. And I'm going to do everything I can to do what President Trump did from a success perspective, right? President Trump, one of the biggest developers in New York and across the world, to be very honest. President Trump also had so many best-selling books. President Trump had the number one song, by the way. He had the song with the J6 Choir recently, which hit number one in the charts. President Trump also had The Apprentice, and now he's obviously the 45th and now the 47th President of the United States of America, going against the tide in a way that
Gary, I got a question. You talked about following.
Let me complete
no,
this.
Gary, hang on. Gary, what I'm wondering is, I don't know if you're married or not or have a girlfriend. I'm just curious if you're going to follow in Trump's footsteps. Does that also mean you're going to have a divorce? Just curious. I'm asking for the audience.
Well, the one thing I will say, my friend, is Gary Barve and the United States of America will never get a divorce. I will say that. The other thing I will say is Gary Barve and Jesus Christ will never get a divorce. The other thing I will say is that Gary Barve and the United States of America people, the American people, will never get a divorce.
Are you single? Are you single right now? Like if somebody wanted to be the first lady, is this a good opportunity?
Got an audience here, yeah.
What's that? Say that again, my friend.
I said, are you single? Because if somebody wanted to be the first lady.
I am single, and I have no kids. But hey, let me quickly say this. Have you heard of Jeff and Bill? Have you heard of this incredible music sensation, Ed Sheeran? He's a British gentleman, tremendous guy, and he has this awesome. Yes. What's that?
Yeah, I know him intimately, not like biblically, but yeah, way familiar with Ed Sheeran. I can go back several albums with you. Yeah.
Okay, that is incredible. So, Bill, you know this, right? He has sung this incredible song, which has got like 4 or 5 billion views, or billion with a B views on just YouTube channel. Perfect. Have you heard that song?
Yeah. No, the
Okay,
album,
so that I said I love that song, and I said, I'm going to actually follow through and follow my dreams.
Stuff.
Yeah. So my friend Dave Parrish plays incredible guitar, and I connected with him, and I said, Dave, you and I should do a song with me doing the vocals. You do the guitar. He has an awesome recording studio in the great state of Iowa. And so I recorded my version of the cover song of the incredible music sensation Ed Sheeran, and we went to a distribution company, and they distributed it, through a few process and things like that, to over 150 or just about 150 digital stores worldwide, including Spotify.
Can you sing
Apple,
a little bit for us?
Apple and Amazon Music and a lot of...
Gary, give us a sample.
Yeah,
give us
sing
a sample.
Bit. Maybe some of the audience will go out there and buy the single today.
All right, well, let me do this. Let me quickly say this. Have you guys heard of Enrique Iglesias' Hero?
Yes.
Yeah.
That guy is tremendous. So I actually...
Sing like Ed. Sing like Ed.
Huh?
Ed.
Well, you want me to sing Perfect by Ed Sheeran?
Yes,
well, let me do
absolutely.
This. Let me do this. How about this, guys? Let me sing Hero by Enrique Iglesias. That song is going to be out in the next 2 weeks.
You promised Ed. You said you'd cover a song of Ed.
No.
The audience demands Ed.
All right. So the thing is...
We want Ed.
Well, would you let me sing Enrique?
Yeah, go ahead and sing Enrico just because we're running out of time.
I have I don't have the lyrics in front of me, and I don't want to make
that's fine. Go ahead and sing Enrico Iglesias.
All right, let me pull up the lyrics. Give me one moment. I have them right here.
I wanted Ed
This is an incredible song, by the way. All right, you guys ready?
Next time.
We got you.
Yeah.
All right, hey guys, Jeff and Bill. I hope you guys don't lose any audience because of this. All right, here goes. This is without the guitar, obviously, right? Let me get a quick drink of water before.
He's getting a drink of water.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Build up the anticipation a little bit, right?
I like that. Good
All
job.
Right, you guys ready?
Yes.
Would you dance if I asked you to dance? Would you run and never look back? Would you cry if you saw me crying? Would you save my soul tonight? Would you tremble if I touched your lips? Or would you laugh? Oh, please tell me this. Now would you die for the one you love? Hold me in your arms tonight. I can be your hero, baby. I can kiss away the pain. I will stand by you forever. You can take my breath away. You can take my breath away.
Wow!
Nice tone.
Yes!
Good job. Well done, sir. Well done.
Wow!
That was enjoyable. Really enjoyed that. Well done. That was fantastic. That was good.
You can't see us, but Billy and I, we had our lighters going. Yeah. We had the cell phone lights.
This was great.
Gary, it was fantastic.
I'm not allowed to have an open flame in the studio. Only Jeff. So I use my light on the phone.
Text messages rolling in. This is magic.
Yes, this is great.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you, my friends. Appreciate it.
Gary, we're just up against a break here, but we wanted to thank you so much. His website, Gary Barve for America, that's spelled Gary, Barve, Barve, spelled out for America.com. Gary Barve for America. We ran into him at CPAC.
Yes.
And he is delightful, fun, entertaining,
fun.
always
Thank you, sir.
To have on the Jeff and Bill show. Gary, this is your best interview yet, and we thank you, sir.
This is wonderful. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend Jeff. Thank you, my friend Bill. Looking forward to getting the great honor and opportunity to be back on your show anytime for your convenience. Make America great again.
Thank
Keep
you.
America great.
And next time we're doing
America.
Ed Sheeran, my friend. Next time Ed Sheeran. Thank you so much.
That's Gary Barve. All right, let's talk Dan Kaplis. Dan Kaplis Law suggests you should choose a lawyer who shares your values because who you choose to represent you in an injury case says a lot about you to everyone involved in the case. Dan Caplis is the son of a police officer and a former seminarian who's dedicated the last 40 years of his life to helping people who've been hurt in serious motor vehicle crashes. Dan is believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Dan is also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado state history. Dan Caplis Law, the official law firm partner of the Denver Nuggets and Colorado Avalanche. Dan Caplis Law is a serious firm for serious cases. Dan accepts righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis so that he can represent good people from all walks of life without regard to ability to pay. So if you need Dan's help, give him a call, 303-770-5551. 303-770-5551 or hit dancaplisLaw.com. That's Dan, C-A-P-L-I-S law.com.
Felt like you should have sung that, just in general. In the back of my head, I'm hearing, Dan Kaplan.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan
Gary to read those.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was magic.
That was absolutely the best way to finish our Friday.
Yes, this is wonderful.
I can't think of a better way.
And all of you that are sitting here heard it live. It's fantastic. Thank you for sharing with us. This is great.
Jacqueline has lost her mind on the text messages, which is hilarious.
This is wonderful. Oh, my goodness.
She wrote, I wouldn't miss that for anything in the world.
That was so good. Oh, my gosh. Okay, we need to collect ourselves and do something else here.
What a show. You're listening to Jeff and Bill.
What the hell just happened? This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Recently serenaded by a presidential candidate.
Yes, that's what the hell happened. I love the text messages. This is crazy.
That's why I love CPAC and going to the conventions too. Is there's just characters.
Oh yeah,
and Gary Barve's a character. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he is. Fantastic.
And full of personality. And I haven't laughed that hard. I had to turn off the mic because I was dying during some of those.
Yeah, me too. That was fantastic. I love the fact that he's out there fighting the gangs by talking.
Doing those interviews.
Yeah, I guess.
He threatened. Yeah, and look, we do have a sizable population that listens to this show that is part of MS-13.
Oh, yes.
That we are the choice.
Yes, we are. We've heard that.
For Tren de Aragua listeners.
Yes.
In the morning.
I'm like, what? The idea that I'm fighting by doing interviews? I'm like, listen, I'm behind this microphone 4 hours a day. I'm not saying this is a tough man job. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form.
Well, it's been one of the wildest shows I think we've ever had. And I don't want to finish with this because you all were so great. Adam, pull up some of the best text messages of pets in costumes.
Yes, the pictures.
We got... so the people watching online, look at that.
Oh, he's
Spike in Taco.
Yes, Taco Spike.
I think it was Jacqueline that went and got her cat dressed up.
I can't believe that she did that
right?
for us. Yeah,
so
we suggested, cats. And oh my God,
maybe not Jacqueline. Maybe
was it Janet? I don't remember.
Janet did that.
Yeah, so it was Jay. Yes, Janet dressed up her cat, and the cat is disappointed. Janet's choices.
Gabe sent in pictures too.
Yeah.
Faith sent in pictures.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Mountain Dog, Chewbacca. Oh, this is so cool. This was amazing.
Even a Colorado Mountain Dog made it.
Yeah.
It's just what we raised.
This is really, really neat. Yeah. All the fun pictures and how, you got them in costumes. I'm just impressed because my dog does not stand for that. There's no way. And we haven't tried the cats because they're sharp and pointy and I'm not doing that.
I think my dogs would look at me like, what are you doing? Because they live outside. They're like ranch dogs.
Yeah. They're like, what are we even doing? Yeah, it's like there's no way. I love the fact that you're able to dress up.
You all are the best. We have the best listeners on the Jeff and Bill Show. We had so much fun today, and I'll go back to the original conversation we had with Mark Crowley too earlier. Be safe out there. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, be safe. And remember, tomorrow is Discount Candy Day at all the stores. Just saying, you can get like 90% off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the dentist will be raking it in here in a few months,
too. Yeah, they'll
All
love you.
right. We love y'all. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
We are Denver's talk leader, 710 KNUS. Happy Halloween.